Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello. Yes, it's true. I am in. Welcome to the United Kingdom News and Culture. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is United Kingdom. And as you know, I just shared with you, we're going to discuss news and culture. We have our panel that's a little smaller today, but that's okay because we have some fabulous topics. Let me welcome DIANN FLOYD BOEHM to the show, and also our expert correspondent, Simon MacDonald. He is, hello, Simon. He is chairman of the Fisheries in Scotland. He is also a celebrity chef. He's a TV presenter, and he's a man in the know about all things related to the UK. Welcome.
Thank you. My goodness, you're making me blush already. And it may not be a little smaller. I weighed myself this morning, tell you I am bigger.
Well, you look terrific. You're always so well dressed. I do think that it would be lovely to have you also on the Power of Etiquette and Manners, because you're always a perfect gentleman, and you're very, just the way you look, the way you're dressed, the way you present yourself.
Yes, stylish.
Class.
You need to help bring this back to the world.
Yes, I agree,
Yeah,
DIANN.
my goodness, all these compliments. There's something coming out of this. I don't know what it is. I'm just waiting for it.
A private tour around Scotland.
Hi, Adam.
We have somebody from England. We've got today. We've got people from America, of course. We've now just got somebody from England. We've got people in Germany, South Africa, Australia. I mean, you know, the world's ablaze with USA Global TV.
Yay. Love it. Yay. Thank you. And if you happen to be watching on our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, please click subscribe. You know, sharing, it's very interesting. Before we get into our discussion for today, I am able to get the numbers from YouTube as opposed to the other platforms, which I have no idea. But typically every single month over month, there was 1 month since we started, it wasn't the case. 90+% of people who have subscribed and are watching are men between the ages of 45 and 54. So I'm not sure what that means, but where are the ladies? If you're there, let us know. Subscribe, please. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's because I've subscribed so often now, I think.
Your fingers are bleeding from clicking.
Definitely.
So, DIANN, I'd love to start off just with you. You've been traveling, you've been doing some things. Tell us a little about your travels. And Simon, we're going to go over to you and hear about what you've been doing and watch a video clip that you sent us some fabulous pictures. So thank you. DIANN, over to you.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Hello, everyone. So, yes, my husband and I, and this time we took we have a new puppy as of last year. She's actually 9 years old. So, but she went with us, and we've left from Texas, and we drove through many states to Virginia to see family. And that has been a blast. And now I am in Mississippi, making our way back. And just as we like to do, like small little towns and enjoy the little cafes and nuances instead of always being on the big roads. So that's always so much fun. So I'm in this little town called Holly Springs, and it's just a delightful, teeny tiny little town with beautiful people. So go Mississippi.
Are you doing any book signings while you're there, DIANN?
No, just enjoying life, becoming inspired by things around me, and just having a lovely time with family.
Okay.
Sometimes you need that.
Yes, you do, for mental health. It's definitely true. Thank you for that. So now, Simon, as you know, this is the United Kingdom news and culture, and you are the expert correspondent. So tell us what's going on that we need to know, please.
Well, we're open here, Scotland in particular. I'm sort of filling in here Helen and Ian's spot today because they are the royal correspondents. But today, well, sorry, folks, you got me. But I've had a fabulous time this week. Her Majesty the Queen is in Edinburgh just now. She was granted the freedom of the city, given the keys to the city yesterday. People wonder what exactly does that mean, but I know in Edinburgh it means that she's allowed to now herd her sheep up the Royal Mile between Holyrood Palace and Edinburgh Castle. So I think you maybe need somebody following behind with a bucket and a shovel or something like that. But anyway, so she's been granted that. Now, 96 years of age. She is the most remarkable woman on the planet. And I think everybody loves the Queen. She's just an exceptional person. She's everybody's mother, everybody's grandmother, and now she's everybody's great-grandmother as well. And she just keeps on going on and on and on. And she's just passed the Platinum Jubilee, which is, I think, one of the first times ever that there's been a Platinum Jubilee, certainly in the UK. So it's an incredible achievement, and she just has got the most endearing smile. Love her to bits. Amazing person. But this last week, I had the privilege, I was on her yacht, and it's maybe not her yacht now because it's been decommissioned, but Her Majesty's yacht, Britannia, is now moored permanently in Edinburgh in Leith Docks. In actual fact, it's just around the corner from my offices there. So, I've been threatening to go and see Britannia many a time, in particular because a great friend of mine is Rear Admiral Sir Robert Woodard. And Robert is a great friend of mine, and he was the last commander of the Royal Yacht Britannia. And funny story, when he got command of the boat, at that time I had my smoking business and my shop way up in the middle of nowhere in the Highlands. And there was one morning, Robert, he came running into the place full of joy and says, Simon, I've got a new job. And I thought, right, okay. I said, what is it? He says, let me sign your visitor's book, then you'll know. So he picked up my visitor's book and went into a corner and signed his name, and under the address, all it had was Britannia. And I thought, oh, wow. So I think that was one of the smartest addresses I've ever had in the visitor's book there, and I still have it and keep it today. But he's a great character, an amazing man, and an amazing commander of ships as well. He's been in the Royal Navy for many, many years. And his wife, Roz, as well, an extraordinary character and full of life and larger than life, not in every way, but certainly when it comes to hospitality, she's just an amazing person. She has to be to keep up with Robert. But anyway, Royal Yacht Britannia, she was commissioned about 1953, and she was decommissioned again about 2005, I think it was. And there were at 6s and 7s what to do with her. So eventually it was decided that because she was built in Scotland, that she should come back to Scotland. So there we are. She finished up eventually in Leith. There was a lot of talk she should maybe be in the Clyde, where she originated from. And so many great ships have come from there. I was passing over the Erskine Bridge the other day coming back from there, and I was looking down and I thought, beneath me through the years, the Queen Mary, the Queen Elizabeth II, or Huey II, Britannia, many of the great warships and many of the great commercial ships have all sailed down under that bridge down the Clyde. And it was quite thought-provoking, looking how narrow the river is at that stage. But this is just when they'd have literally been born. They'd been launched and they were on the way down to be fitted out. So the Clyde's got an incredible heritage of shipping. But Britannia, the Edinburgh one, it's the capital city of Scotland, so it was decided to go there. And she's now the #1 tourist attraction really in Scotland. I mean, hundreds of thousands of visitors every year, but very well organized, so you never feel crowded or crammed. And it just, she's a floating palace, but in almost humble terms. People, listening to what people were saying there, it was quite amazing, because they all think, oh, where's all the gold and the chandeliers and all the rest of it? This is just a very, very comfortable home. And that's exactly what the Queen was wanting. She was wanting a comfortable home. And there we are. She had that on Britannia, and she loved that ship. And I mean, there's sort of iconic footage of the Queen at the decommissioning ceremony with tears coming down her face, and even Prince Philip as well, who is quite a hardened gentleman. And again, he was looking, his eyes were welling up at the occasion. It was, very sad to see her coming out of service, but it's very good to see that she's got a good life now, and she's been looked after. Some of her original sailors are going on board and looking after her, along with the voluntary crews that are there working all the time. A fascinating story. So I believe you have a video of some photographs which are sent there. Maybe you want to let everybody see it, and I'll try and quickly garble my way through it.
Absolutely. All right, let's take, actually, while the video is running there, we won't be able to speak because the platform doesn't let you. So we'll have to talk it through afterwards, I guess.
Right. Okay. Oh,
there
wow.
you go.
That we should have set it to music.
I was thinking but I didn't have the rights to certain music. So, but here's what I think. I think if you could just tell us what we saw, and then I'll play it again, and we can actually look for the various things now that
right.
we've
Yes.
seen it.
You saw the Royal Yacht Britannia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Now, the opening shots there was, as you see the Royal Yacht with their bows just poking around the corner before you go aboard. The next shot was actually I was sitting in Robert Woodard's beautiful, comfortable chair on the bridge of Britannia, looking down over the bows. And then we get to the interior shots. Now, the shot with the single bed and the silk tapestry above it, that was actually Her Majesty's bed. The Queen and Prince Philip, although their rooms were always adjoining, slept in separate beds. It's a wonder they had 4 children. But anyway, we won't go into that. It might be too much information. And then the other shot with the double bed, that was the only double bed that's actually on Britannia. And that was the cabin that Prince Charles and Princess Diana had for their honeymoon. It was actually also used with all the children, with Andrew and Fergie, and with Edward and Sophie, and Anne and Timothy Lawrence. So in that particular photograph, if you look very quickly and very hard, you will see in the mirror there's a reflection looking to the wardrobe on the other side of the room, and the clothes hanging in that wardrobe were actually belonged to Princess Diana. So that's a little bit of history still there. She must have forgotten to pack them when she left the last time. But and then we go on. The silverware that's in Britannia is absolutely exquisite, and just such beautiful, beautiful silverware. The lounge, their beautiful grand lounge, and again, it's just so homely. It's very, very comfortable. The fireplace at the far end was originally, the Queen wanted it to be a coal fire, but then that was sort of frowned on by the Admiralty, because they said, if you've got a coal fire burning in there, then we need to have a sailor standing by with a bucket of water all the time. So they sort of thought this could get a little bit personal. So it was decided then to put an electric fire in instead. The main dining room there, big banqueting room, has hosted some most incredible dinners and royal and state occasions. I mean, of course, all the royal family have eaten there, but so have many, many well-known figures in life. To Winston Churchill, Eisenhower's been there, the Clintons, the Obamas, just about every US president really from Eisenhower onwards. Nelson Mandela, just every imaginable head of state, and they've all enjoyed it there. Margaret Thatcher was on there as well, and apparently commenting how dust-free the place is. So it's just an extraordinary experience to be there and to actually see it and feel this a tangibility. Is there such a word, tangibility? I'll look it up later on. Yes, the ability of the atmosphere and the royalty there is just absolutely extraordinary. And then later on, we see a lot of sort of bright white pipes and copper pipes and all the rest of it, and that is the engine room. And the engine room on that ship was kept like that all the time, absolutely pristine. There was just not a speck of dust to be seen anywhere. But in actual fact, the photographs I didn't get and send you, unfortunately, was Robert Woodward's cabin, or it wasn't just a cabin, it was a whole suite, including a very, very elaborate dining room. And to my mind, he had the most comfortable accommodation on the whole boat. But then if you're sailing 1 million miles, then you need to have a little bit of comfort around you as well. But just wonderful experience.
Thank you so much, Simon. Let's take a look at the video again. And I know personally, I'm going to be looking for Princess Diana's clothes in that shot of the double bed. Yeah. Diane, what are you going to be looking for?
I'm the same, because I love Princess Diana. So
yeah. The photograph on the bedside cabinet as well, just to distract you and see how quickly you can look from A to B. The photograph is of Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh,
all right.
Thanks.
I feel like we're in a treasure hunt. Let's see what we can find as we really tune into what we're seeing.
Or maybe we can see the door between the two bedrooms.
You can't actually at that point. No, but certainly the Queen's bed I thought was the most interesting one. I mean, we all know what the Queen has in her handbag now: the marmalade sandwich.
Marmalade.
So true.
We will not be allowed to forget that.
Simon, I have to say, when I ran the video the last time, I noticed that the platform did not shut off our microphones. So maybe you'll be able to talk. Let's give it a try.
Right. Okay, I'll have to gabble very quickly.
All right, here we go.
Right, there's Britannia as you first see her, and that's me sitting on the chair of Robert Woodward. There's the dining room with the electric fire, not the coal fire, and that's Her Majesty's office as well. It's a very neat little office. And the main state dining room, biggest cabin on the ship, Queen's bedroom with the silk tapestry above. And there's Charles and Diana's photograph, and there in the wardrobe you see the clothes. You've missed it. Now we've got the engine room, the silverware as well. I mean, it just this piece here is extraordinary. I'm not sure what the story is of the monkey that's hanging off the stern of that silver ship, but I must find that one out. Do my investigative journalism bit as well. Might find a scandal. You never know.
There's so much to see there. The one thing that really stood out to me, I saw the clothes and I saw the photograph. Why is the bed so small? That twin bed, you just move, we could be on the grounds, and she's the queen. Should she have a queen's bed, queen size bed?
Well, I mean, she likes it, and she's actually very small herself. I mean, she really is. She sort of comes up to about, hang on, I'll go that shoulder, up to about there on me. She's absolutely tiny, but tiny person with a big persona. And I mean, there are a lot of people in the world just like that. Very small people, but their personality is enormous. And I mean, one instance as well, I could quote as well, I'm not wanting to name drop, but I became quite friendly with King Hussein of Jordan a number of years ago. He used to come up to the Highlands on holiday every year, and he called Inverlochy Castle Hotel, that he called his Highland home. And he loved the smoked salmon and the smoked cheese that she produced. So he started to make the odd trip out to the smokehouse. And the first time he came out, I had a hint that he was coming, and it was the general manager of the hotel who brought him out. And it was just this tiny little man came in, but his personality filled the whole place. Extraordinary character. And after that, he used to come out on his own, and we'd spend a lot of time. And if it was a nice day, sitting out in the lawn in front of the smokehouse with a cup of coffee and just solving all the problems of the world, except for his own country. And the lovely story about him as well. We'll maybe save that one for another day. But no, the Royal Yacht was just the most incredible experience, and it coincided as well. The following day was the opening of the Royal Highland Show, which is a big 4-day event in Edinburgh, just outside of Edinburgh, and it is, I think, it's the biggest agricultural show in the UK now. It was absolutely spectacular this year as well. The standards of the horsemanship, the standards of all the livestock was there, just absolutely amazing. And it's a great social place as well. You will always meet people that you know. I think I've probably met about 4 or 5 different people that I know and hadn't seen for years as well. So it's a grand occasion. So there's a lot going on in Edinburgh just now, and a lot going on in the rest of Scotland. Rain. We had rain. We were desperate to give the stuff away there yesterday. I decided yesterday it wasn't so much the tide that was coming in, it was the tide was coming down yesterday. It was that heavy, really, really strong stuff. So it's, I think a lot of people got quite a rinsing. So anybody having a camping holiday, well, I hope they brought the water wings with them. That's all I can say about that. But it's trying to brighten up today, and I think it might brighten up with a bit of luck for the weekend.
That sounds fantastic. And Simon, I just want to mention something in terms of brightening up and feeling better. Sometimes food does that for us, and you're a celebrity chef and you've met so many people across the world. I wonder if you would just talk a little bit about how you have been able to take something that is so basic for many of us and really scarce for others and just make it into an incredible, delectable experience. Delectable, thank you, experience for royalty and for presidents here from this country and famous people all over the world.
Yeah, you're flattering me no end. I mean, I can feel me welling up with this. Yes, I confess that I have cooked for most of our royal family at some time or other. The Queen, yes, and Princess Anne, I've cooked for her 2 or 3 times. Met her. She came into my smokehouse once as well with Timothy Lawrence, because they have a yacht they keep on the west coast of Scotland. Not as big as Britannia, I hasten to add, but she's very, very capable yachtswoman. And so is Tim Lawrence, and the pair of them absolutely love sailing on the west coast and the Western Isles. So they came up one day and they popped into the smokehouse and we had a bit of a chat, and they bought 1 or 2 things, and that was it. But I've had the privilege of cooking for them on a couple of occasions. Prince Charles and Princess Diana as well. I cooked for them. Actually, I supplied them with quite a lot of smoked foods as well, and I supplied smoked salmon to Buckingham Palace and other royal households. King Hussein, obviously, he had my staff. He always used to come in and buy some things before he went home, take a load of smoked salmon and smoked cheese and turn back with him. Who else have we done? Oh, quite a few. And then I've cooked as well for a number of US presidents. I used to do a big charity night at the US Embassy in London, which I really enjoyed. I'd become quite friendly with the defense attaché at the embassy, and we'd got together one evening over quite a lot of wine, and said, look, how about running a charity night? Bring your food along and and talk about it, and you can auction it off and so on. I said, what, you think I can't sell it? So anyway, they we decided to put this show on the road, and it sort of seemed to gather, a lot of momentum. We got 2 other people involved in it as well, and we got the most fantastic auction running there as well. And the prizes in the auction were just amazing. United Airlines each year would put up 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world. So you can imagine, I mean, that would get huge money in the auction. We had got televisions, we've got DVDs, we had a car one year as well, smoked salmon, obviously, all sorts of things, big, huge gift vouchers for Harrods and all these stores. So these auctions, ran each year and became quite a thing. And so we had, on occasion when the US presidents were coming to visit the UK, I would get the call, can we not run one of these nights to sort of coincide there? So I'd finish up having to do some, get my whites on and go and do some cooking in the embassy kitchens as well for the president. So it was, interesting. And these things, you just get like thrown into doing these things. Thoroughly enjoy it. I always enjoyed playing with my food. And as a kid, you get into big trouble for playing with your food. Now I can do it legitimately, and it's my job. So there we are. So yeah, we have had the privilege and the honor for cooking for a number of these people, and it must have worked because they're all still alive, I think. Yes.
Thanks for sharing that, Simon. And tell us what you're currently doing when it comes to cooking. Are you cooking solely at home?
Mostly, yes. I have been. I've got a couple of offers to go and do some demos elsewhere. I was over in the south of France. Somebody's got to do it,
Yeah, it's a rough life.
So it's a heck of a tough life. You really just don't know how. Don't know how. So I was down in the south of France. I was doing a consultancy job. A client down there who's building a smokehouse, and I still do a lot of consultancy work as well on that line. So I went down to see him, and he's himself and his wife are great foodies, and they enjoy the food. And of course, in France, it's very difficult to find a bad restaurant and get a bad meal. The standard of food there is quite exceptional. So went down, we developed a whole load of different products for him, and so we had a big launch one night, and we got quite a few press round, and various different friends and movers and shakers of that particular area, and put on a spread for them. So we actually ran quite a banquet that night and thoroughly enjoyed it. I should have sent some photos of it another time.
Don't keep the south of France from us, Simon. We need to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've only been to northern France, so
yes,
anyway.
yeah. But I enjoy working with food. I mean, with United Kitchens that we did there, was it last year? But when we did the United Kitchens, that was tremendous fun. It really was. But my schedules these days are just getting so unpredictable and so tight that if you can find me, pin me down and hold me there, tie me down, because otherwise I'll be away off doing something else somewhere else.
Simon, do you have a cookbook?
No, I just wing it. Recipes are for inspiration, to give the idea. The recipes you want to follow are to the letter are when it comes to baking, but for other dishes, it's to give you the inspiration, and you can chop and change ingredients about and chop and change quantities and so on. But baking, stick to the letter of the book. That's my tip for the day.
I love it,
Simon. When you are cooking for royalty or cooking for presidents or heads of state, do you get nervous, or you just enjoy it so much that the nerves are at bay?
Well, I mean, they're like you or I. We've got to sit down. We've got to eat. We've got to, So you may, and I, if you're going to eat well and enjoy it. It should be an experience. You should love every second of it. So make it attractive, make it an enjoyable experience, and that's what I do. Yeah, I mean, I think the nervous part of it. it's there. It hits you at first. Maybe when you get the phone call or the email comes through, would you do this? And you think, wow, why me? Picking on me again. Oh no, here we go. But it's the nerves go very quickly after that. And you just think, right, okay, what are we going to do for them this time? And then you'll maybe get one or two suggestions or things they don't like, and so you think, should I throw one of those in? Just no, it's better not. It's just go for it and just enjoy it. I mean, you cook for the Queen, same as you cook for anybody else. You heat things up, you cool things down, you plate things up, and that's it. I mean, that's in a nutshell what you do. So when you get on with the job, you just get on with it. It's got to be done, and you do it to your very best ability, and that's it. And if they like it, they'll ask you back. And if you don't, oh, well, there we are. It might be the last time you're ever seen again.
I've recently been watching one of the, I'm not going to say which one of the cooking shows, the competitions on Netflix, one of the series. Do you ever watch any cooking shows on TV?
Oh, yes, frequently. I mean, we're flooded with them. I did one a few years ago as well, and we filmed in Portugal. There was myself and a wine master of wines, and we had several weeks of great fun filming this 6-part show. It was tremendous fun. This was, I think I must have just been a boy then. It seems like before Britannia was launched somehow. It was a long time ago, but we had tremendous fun doing it. And I just always enjoy cooking. And there we go. And
you said some. I'm sorry, Dr. Jackson. You said something very interesting when you were saying enjoy your food, and you also made reference to making it look pretty. And I am all about that. I get very sad that people are always in a hurry, just eat, and on the run. When there's something about setting the table and making it look so beautiful and having all the silverware in the correct place. Do you think I'm old-fashioned? What do you think?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, food should be an experience, and go to France and see how they handle food there. Lunch is about 3 hours, and and it's very relaxed, and it's almost religion in France. And we eat with our eyes. I mean, you go into a restaurant, and and you're presented with a dish which looks absolutely stunning, and you think, oh wow, and everybody wants to photograph it and so on. I hate mobile phones being used to photograph food over a meal. You go into a restaurant, you click, and you think, oh God, come on. But if you had the same food on the plate and it was just slopped on, then you would automatically think that's not going to be very nice. But if it's beautifully presented, you think, oh, wow, this is going to be something special. And so you'll take your time and enjoy it. So the visual aspect of it is so important. I mean, even when I'm cooking for myself, I like to dress the plate and make it look correct, and use a bit of this stuff in the background as well to just make the setting look attractive. It's just me.
I'm so glad to hear that, because I have my morning dishes, because I like happy dishes in the morning, because it just helps me feel good, right? And then the afternoon dishes, because I think dishes are a piece of art if you really think about it. And then I have my beautiful china, and of course, don't ask me how many types of china I have, just because I might feel a certain way a certain day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a mood setting thing as well. And if you get restaurants which are very dark and so on, and and it sets a mood, and the food should mirror that as well. Or in a dark restaurant, you might want the food to be bright and vibrant, so it really stands out a mile. But it's got to look good, and some plates can be over elaborate to so it's very difficult to make the food look good on. And I'm just going to show you one here, and this plate.
Oh, gorgeous!
It is.
Looks like a Royal Dalton. Is it Royal Dalton?
No. This is it's Meissen.
Meissen,
And
okay.
it actually came from the Royal Collection, not off Britannia, don't worry.
Do they know?
It is
It was my
gorgeous.
Attention, Simon McDonald has a plate that we need back.
I can hear the horns, wee, wee, wee. Don't take me away. But no, that plate is actually, this was given to my great, 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 etc. grandfather, who was Lord Robert Clive, or Clive of India, as people would probably know him. And it was given to him by George III at a dinner at the palace when he'd returned from India. And Lord Clive, he was Viceroy of India, which effectively is like the king in India, appointed by the king. He's the when India was part of the British Empire, then you had to have somebody in charge there. So he was sent off to be in charge. Oddly enough, he was the black sheep of the family. There were 5 of them in the family. But he was the one that actually did quite well out of it. I'm just wondering, is there a reflection going on here and what's happened to me? Maybe I've been the black sheep of the family, but anyway, there we go. I'm not going to go down that road. But that's the plate given to him by the king. And I mean, that's the gold round there is just incredible. And in the center here, where is it now? All this, it's all painted, it's all hand painted, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And it's a lovely souvenir of the palace, I suppose, but a gift from the king to Lord Clive for services rendered. So that was a great family treasure, that one.
Absolutely.
But you could not make any food look good on that plate. I think the only way you could do it is just maybe with just a little sliver of cheese and a couple of grapes or something like that. So it doesn't take away from the plate, but at the same time, laid attractively, it should sort of stand out. That you couldn't serve a duck breast or with all the trimmings and so on, and that it just wouldn't work. Apart from that,
agree.
where to do that, 'cause it is nice.
I wouldn't want to put anything on that.
No, that's what I was just thinking, when you have china that's so beautiful, so ornate, you would take care of it, but do you trust others to take care of it? I don't know. Will you serve the food on plates like that, on china like that?
I wouldn't serve anything on that plate, to be honest. that plate's got a very special place on the wall in a very secure room.
Very smart.
I mean, you obviously the crockery you use has to be fit for the occasion. And even for a casual meal, I will still use good quality stuff because I like my food to look attractive. And as even I'm just sitting down eating myself, it's got to look right. I'm picky. I'm fussy.
I love that.
I do too. I have a few, and I'm not a paid spokesperson, but I have a few Versace plates, and where I lived before, I had them hanging on the wall, and now I have them in a case. I would never use them because they're so beautiful to look at. But that could be just because I wouldn't be purchasing another set, if that makes sense. Some people, I guess they can just get another set. Hey, we break these, we'll get another one.
With being Versace plates, you probably couldn't get another set anyway.
Now, what
sometimes
about
you do get worried, and you sort of think, well, who's coming to dinner tonight? Have they got young kids?
Right.
Then you got to sort of think carefully about how the table setting is going to be. Are you going to use glasses, or are you going to use crystal? Things like that. You just got to be, you've got to be careful, but still present it well.
Agree. I know when I'm drinking my Chardonnay, I like it to be in a lovely crystal glass. It's something that I feel really good about, a nice stem. Whereas other people will say, oh, just put it in a coffee cup. I don't care. Just a plastic. No, I don't think
It's
so.
horrible. No, yeah,
I agree with you.
I agree with you. But you know what? I did Simon as a parent. I did like my mom. Sundays was always about a lovely meal, right? And so I bought Royal Dalton Peter and the Rabbit setting of china for the kids, and starting about 2.5 they started learning on Sundays. These are special, and they had their own little china, and I still have them because they learned that when it's, the table set like this, is proper manners. There's all this etiquette that went with it. And so when you mentioned children, thinking about them, I just want you to know that there's ways to teach them to appreciate the china. Yes. So when they get older, they'll continue doing it. So, or you hope.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I was, my parents were quite strict when it came to table etiquette and to manners and so on, and it's stood me in stead. I mean, I'm quite happy. And
look at you.
Yeah, I mean,
Bravo.
Right, look at me. Oh dear.
Simon, I do have a question for you when it comes to etiquette and manners as we're talking about China. So a person is the host or hostess, invites people over, and during the course of the meal, someone breaks a piece of china. What is proper etiquette? Do you then have to offer to buy a replacement, a whole set? Do you just say, sorry, I'm leaving? What do you do?
If you break their china, it's a very difficult situation and an impossible situation to get out of. If you know what the china is, and if it's something like Meissen or Dresden or Villeroy and Bosch or something really, really, really special at that, then you haven't got a cat and hell's chance of replacing it, because you probably can't. So you just have to apologize and apologize humbly, and
go on with life.
Hope that they're not going to hit you over the head with the remnants of it.
Well, I actually attended a dinner party where this happened, and the whole dinner stopped because the hostess was so upset about this plate being broken. And the person who broke it, of course, felt horribly and searched everywhere, was able to find a replacement, but was never invited back.
Yeah,
wow.
I think the host is the one that has to disarm the situation. And if you're the host and you are absolutely devastated and distraught at the breakage, you have to rise above it. It's only a plate that's got broken. It's not somebody's skull. That will happen later.
Good point. Good point.
That's when you hear, who's the one who invited her, invited him? It's all your fault. I told you not to.
Well, you will notice that person that broke the plate will not get invited to anybody else's house that was around the table as well.
Oh, there you go.
You're on a list with a big X over your face. No, but to your point, that is really true. It is just a material item. It's not anything that has value above money, I would say, and above a person. But we do get carried away with our possessions, don't we? We can.
Yes. It is up to the host to resolve the situation. I'd be just wanting the floor to swallow me up if I'd broken the plate. But if it's somebody that broke the plate and I was the host, then I would sort of, okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll get you another plate. Hunt for the plastic one, but we'll get you another plate and we'll bring it through. And you start and let the evening continue. Don't let it spoil the evening. Don't suddenly go like that and and stare daggers at them, because it will really, really destroy the night for everybody else, and everybody else will be wanting to pick up a plate and throw it at the wall and see what the reaction is going to be next. No, you've got to rise above it. And treat it with dignity, and then you can kill him afterwards once everybody else is outside.
It's so true, because then the rest of the people are all thinking to themselves, oh, what if I'm the next one who does this? You don't even want to touch anything. You just sit there sort of like a statue, and then the whole meal comes to an end. So
that's right.
Yeah. I mean, we've all broken a glass at the table. I mean, that sort of thing happens, and so on. And you just hope, if it's crystal, please no, especially not something like Waterford and so on. It doesn't bear thinking of. But it happens. Accidents happen. Often accidents are caused, but these things do happen.
So thank you for bringing that up. I have one more question about etiquette and manners, since you were just saying that. This actually happened. There were 4 of us at dinner, and the one person knocked over a glass of water, and literally the whole thing went on the person next to me. And the person didn't sit there. Was literally, it was a full thing for her. And long story short, the owner of the restaurant did not want to change the tablecloth. So what is proper etiquette in that situation?
So long as it's just water, you're okay. If it's red wine, you've got a problem, or somebody's got a problem, especially if it goes over somebody else, then it's a big, big problem. But I just suddenly remembered, how could I possibly forget a restaurant in London that I was at one night with a crowd of friends. And we were sitting around this table. It was a super little restaurant, a lovely sort of informal atmosphere, but it was beautifully laid out, lovely tablecloths and all the rest. And we were right in the middle of the dining room, this big round table. So we were chatting away, and we'd had a few glasses of wine, and the restaurant was packed, and the tables were actually quite close together. But this one we were at in the middle was huge. Anyway, I made some comment, and just sort of raised the elbows and went flunk like that on the edge of the table. Unfortunately, the table wasn't properly secured to the pedestal in the middle, and the whole thing tipped up. And of course, everything came flying off it. I rolled back in the chair like that and hit a waiter behind who was carrying a tray of food, which went over the next table. And it sort of set this chain reaction up through the whole restaurant. I think I've just about totally wrecked the place just by putting my elbows on the table like that. So I was highly apologetic, very, very embarrassed about it. Fortunately, there was enough wine inside me at the time, so I wasn't totally embarrassed about it. But the restaurateur came rushing out, wondering what all this crashing and smashing was. I mean, they must have lost a fortune in crockery and glassware that night. But they were actually very good-hearted about it in the end. And I did offer to pay, and they just sort of looked at me over his half-moon glasses and said, "Sir, you couldn't pay." And I thought, oh dear. So that was the end of that. And I was actually allowed back there again as well. And somebody had caught the photograph of it, and they had the photograph displayed behind the bar.
What was actually in the photograph?
Just devastation. I mean, you think an exercise missile had gone through the place.
McDonald.
It was just wrecked. The table with this, circular tabletop lying at an angle like that over the floor. There was food everywhere. People were sort of standing, looking shell-shocked, and I think you could just about see the remains of me, laying back over the chair. I mean, it was. I think it affected just about every single table in the place that night.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah. Did you run to the restroom and hide, or were you just standing there?
Well, no, because I'd have had to have clambered over some other broken chairs and so on like that to get there. So no, I was just humbly apologetic about it all, and that was it. And
that's all you can do.
I probably won't be allowed back, and they said, "No, sir, you can come back anytime you like."
That's nice.
Okay, but we'll give you a different table.
You're back to the wall now.
But the restaurateur did own up and said, "I should have sorted that table beforehand." So that was my get out of jail free card. That was.
That's good.
It was really good. I worked as a waitress once, and I had these really long acrylic nails that had zebra stripes and things air dried or airbrushed, and I had this tray of spaghetti and red wine and something else. And as I got to the table, I tripped. And the whole thing literally went on this stove. And I know you're going to be really surprised to hear this, but I was asked to leave. And that was my
never
my entree and exit into wait staffing.
That was pretty rotten of them to do a thing like that.
I know, it's only spaghetti sauce and red wine. Is it really that big of a deal? I don't know.
On a white shirt, right?
Well, I mean, they've been picking spaghetti out the place for months afterwards as well.
Yeah. Doesn't anyone have a sense of humor anymore? Can't we laugh about these things?
Well, that's it. I mean, if you don't laugh about it, you'd cry.
That's right.
So true.
I wanted to ask something on a different topic, especially with all this rain. How our fishermen handle all this rain? Do they still go out?
Oh yes, yeah. It's the rain's not a problem to them. It's it's a gale of wind can be a bit of a problem. We've actually had some pretty strong winds. It's been more autumnal than summer. I mean, here we are, midsummer. Sorry, people in South Africa and Australia, you're midwinter. This is midsummer here, but you wouldn't believe it. I was hearing there in Germany the other day, it's 30 degrees, and I thought, my goodness. And over here it was 13. So I'm talking Celsius, not Fahrenheit. If it was Fahrenheit, yeah, we would have a problem. But it was the rain we had was awful. But the boats will still go out. But wind is the problem, because that builds the seas up to at times quite considerable. So my throwback days to my marine rescue days, when I was many years ago, and sorting out problems of fishing boats getting into trouble in bad weather, and the rain is actually, in many respects, if it's blowing hard, the rain, if it's a really heavy downpour, can help to flatten out the sea. So it's not your enemy, it can be your friend. But the wind, that's the one we battle against all the time at sea.
So does that mean more fish come when the water's soft?
That's really something that's more pertaining to fishing in a river. The fish tend to rise a little bit more then. But at sea, no. If you get on your scuba gear and you go out there and it's a rough day, once you've gone down about 6 feet, it's calm. There's no waves down there. The waves are only on the surface, but not down below. So that's it. The only thing, it gets kicked up, maybe the visibility gets a bit bad if you're diving down there. You crash into another diver, or if you're unlucky, you crash into a great white shark. But it's I did say unlucky. The wind is the problem.
Okay.
And so are big lumps of rock in the middle of the night. Yes.
Simon, I have a question for you, and I know we've talked about this before, but for people who didn't see that show or they want to hear it again, can you walk us through the process? I'm here in New Jersey, and they have these big box stores, big name places where you get a membership and you can go in and you shop to your heart's delight, and everything's large, and they sell salmon and other fish in these bags in the freezer. And then right across the street where I live, there's a fish market where the fish is allegedly just recently caught. So how does the fish get from there in Scotland and the UK over here? Like, what does that process look like?
The process, it looks like a big long cigar tube, and it's got a couple of sort of flat things that come out the side and 2 engines, and it flies. The fish lands from that took a while to sink in. Sorry. The fish it's landed from the boat. It goes to the primary processor, who will pack it, maybe fillet it, and then it gets boxed on ice. And if it's going fresh, then it goes down to the airport, onto the plane, and goes to wherever it's going, or into a refrigerated van that's delivered to your store or whatever. When I was over in Boston there, I set up a deal with Delta Airlines, and they were quite keen to help smooth out the supply chain from Scotland into America. So they wanted to set up something in the lines of a hub. So I arranged meetings for them over here, and of course online meetings now make life so much easier. So they're now flying 7 times a week to JFK from Edinburgh Airport, and they're about to add another 4 flights a week to go to Boston. Again from Edinburgh Airport. They're building a big hub there which will employ about 60 people, and it'll all be climate controlled and temperature controlled, and it's a very, very quick and slick process, because fish is the most perishable product in the world. It is mackerel, if you catch mackerel, if you don't start processing it within about an hour, then it's actually starting to deteriorate. So it's got to be dealt with very quickly and extremely hygienically as well. So that's it. So from the boat to the primary processor, some of it goes to a secondary processor. It's maybe being smoked or made into a value-added meal or something like that, and then it's packaged and it goes either frozen or chilled to its final destination.
Thank you so much. We've had an ongoing discussion in our family about where the salmon, where it's from and how does it taste. So when I mentioned about this big box store, the packaging, it's always the same size salmon. It's thinner than if I go across the street. And obviously that's a different way of cutting, but it doesn't taste as good. We've tried numerous different bags of it and it doesn't taste as good as what's across the street. So is that because of the fish or the processing?
It can be a combination of the two. It depends where your fish is coming from. Scottish salmon has got a global reputation for being the top in quality. Fish husbandry here is very precise, and it's not just a science; it's an art as well to get the quality and maintain the quality. Fresh salmon is the UK's biggest food export now. And it's all coming from Scotland, and out of the stuff coming from Scotland, over 80% of it comes from the west of Scotland in my patch. So we've got some huge salmon farms there. I know most of them very well. I deal with them on quite a regular basis. So they are constantly monitoring their quality and the processing as well. Now, there is salmon produced in other areas where the quality is maybe not quite as good. It's rushed through the process, maybe done by machine rather than done by hand, and it all makes a big difference at the end of the day.
Thank you so much. That's really interesting, and especially when I love salmon, I love to hear the backstory to it. And
I'm eating it nearly every day. Absolutely love it. And
I
the
love
dog
to,
gets
but
it. Yes, the dog gets it every day
that.
as well. I mean, she's got a glossy coat. You'd think I've been putting varnish over her.
It is. It's so good for your hair and your nails and your skin.
It's it. I mean, it's very rich in omega-3 oils and everything that's good for you. And you can tell anybody that's processing salmon straight away. Their nails are tough as iron. They really are, and that you're just continually, daily having to trim them down. It makes your hair grow. Yeah, well, I'm maybe not eating enough now. I'm not bending down. That's experience.
I love it.
I'm just growing taller. I'm growing through my hair.
Well, I do have another question, as we don't have another show after this. Our guest canceled. She's not feeling well. So do you have time for one more question, Simon?
Yes, go on.
Okay. So I'm really wondering how, if at all, have advances in technology affected the fishermen, or not the fishing industry in whole, but to go out on your boat at 3 a.m. or whatever, trolling, whatever the expression is. Are there any advances in technology which has changed this process of the actual fishing?
Oh, yes. I mean, and it's evolving all the time. It's quite amazing. I mean, the fishermen themselves, I mean, they're a great bunch of guys. They're as tough as old boots, and they go out there and they're working in hard conditions. And I know exactly what they're working in. I've been out there, I've done it. And the technology they got in the wheelhouse of a boat now, a modern trawler has maybe got about 12 or more screens, all doing different things, from radar to sonar to side sonar to local cameras, all sorts of different things going on there. And I mean, it's like something out of Mission Control when you go into the wheelhouse of some of these boats. But then they come ashore and you ask them to go onto a meeting on Zoom or on Teams, and they say, "What?" And they get so uptight about it and so on. They're scared of the technology to have a meeting like this. But put them in the wheelhouse and they're a different animal altogether. So technology has helped enormously. They even carry cameras down in the trawl net now as well, so they can see if they're starting to catch the wrong thing. They haul up and they go elsewhere. They in the wheelhouse, some of the sonar can now identify species of fish as well. So it's just very, very finely tuned. The latest thing we're doing here now as well is having tracking devices on all vessels. That it started off with the scallop boats, and they're now all kitted out with this. So we can tell exactly where they are at any given moment. And it's actually a very useful safety aspect as well, because if suddenly their signal disappears off the screen, well, they've got a problem. So, that can be monitored and, be a good safety issue. So technology on fishing now is really, really quite advanced, and there's new stuff coming on the go all the time. I've got a meeting next week as well about new advances in technology, and I've been assured that my mind will be totally blown. So I thought, right, I'm ready for this. And fish farming as well. I mean, when it started out, I remember the early fish farms, and they were fairly basic, and it went on. But I was just recently, when I came back from Barcelona, the big food expo there, I went to the aquaculture show in Aviemore in the Scottish Highlands, and I was amazed at the technology and the advancements in technology now that's involved in salmon farming. It is quite staggering.
Wow. I find that so interesting. I love technology, and I'm always so excited to see what's next. So that's incredible that they can identify this species of fish.
Oh, I mean, the species of fish, approximately the numbers in the shoal and the depth they're swimming at and direction they're swimming at as well. So, you've got, it's as if you went actually underwater to them and said, which way are you going? Okay, right. And just take the tape measure out. Yep. Okay, you're fine. We'll go for you. So it's become a very exact science in its own way as well. But there's still it's the traditionalism of it with the modernism. It's a strange combination. But the traditional methods of dealing with trawl nets or dealing with the pots to catch lobsters or the langoustine are very much traditional ways which have been on the go for hundreds of years, and they can't perfect on it. So that's it. But then they start on all the electronic gizmos, and it's just it is amazing.
So the art of fishery has changed a lot, because I would think some of the older fishermen were like, you're kind of cheating using all of that. If you in my day, I would have done such and such, right?
I know one or two guys who are a bit like that, but at the end of the day, they do concede that this is advancement, and you can be more selective about your catch. And that's what it's about, because that then helps give sustainability and control of the stock. So you're not catching fish that are constantly undersized, or fish that you don't actually want because they're not marketable. So there's great sustainability about it. And if you want a conservationist, ask a fisherman. I mean, they know every stone and boulder and bit of mud and sand on the seabed, and exactly where it's come from. And they know how to look after that, because it's not just the present for them, but it's the future as well, and for future generations of the family, to keep the industry sustainable, so that their sons and the sons of sons are going to make a living out of this in days to come, and years to come.
That's wonderful.
It really is. And I know I've asked you this before on other shows, but I still think it's really a topic people are interested in. You mentioned Scottish salmon. What's the difference, besides the obvious, between the farm-raised and wild salmon? And is one more tasty or better, healthier than the other?
There's all schools of thought about that one. I could get into serious trouble with that. But wild salmon is actually becoming quite a rare thing nowadays, and there's all sorts of arguments as to why they're disappearing. But one wild salmon coming up into a river and spawning maybe 300,000 eggs, and that's a lot of eggs. but there might only be one salmon will actually survive from that in the wild. Whereas farm salmon, you can strip 300,000 eggs out of a fish, and 90% of those will grow on to become adult salmon. So with the farming, they're being well looked after. They're getting 3 square meals a day on the best china. They're looked after, and that's it. They're fine. They don't have to go out and fight for a living. The wild salmon, yeah, there's a difference in flavor and texture, and that depends on the time of year. Spring run fish coming up into the river in the spring have got a good fat content, and so they're much better condition than a salmon that's been in the river for a while. It's laid its eggs, it's going back out to sea, and it's going to die. So there's a lot. The time of year makes a big difference for the condition of that fish. But while at the farm salmon, you can have that condition going good all year round.
Thank you, Simon. And what do we look for when we are in the store and we see the fish displayed in the case?
Right. If you're buying a whole salmon or a whole cod or whatever, look for the eyes. The eyes should actually be looking back at you. They should look alive. They shouldn't be concave. They should be convex. Look at the gills and just lift the gill flap. If they're a nice red color, then that's fine. If they've gone gray at all, forget it. And then the next thing as well is smell. Fish shouldn't really smell. If it smells, there's a problem. It should smell fresh. It should smell like the sea. So that's as good a guide as you can get possibly for freshness.
Thank you. And I'm so glad that you said that about the smell, because I've heard people say, oh, if it has any smell to it, it's okay. And I always thought, no, it shouldn't smell.
Yeah. I mean, just like you and I, if you smell, there's a problem. And I always say, old fishermen never die. They only smell that way.
Well, I smell like roses. What can I say? No,
Yeah,
it's not me. It's my perfume. Diane, what about salmon? Are you a big salmon lover?
I absolutely love salmon. There used to be a time, at least here, meaning Texas, where you couldn't get it that often. It was only in season, so to speak. I don't really know why. Maybe Simon, you know. And then all of a sudden it seemed like you could get salmon all the time. So I'm really glad we can.
Well, this is it. I mean, farm salmon is available all the year round. And, and a lot of the purists will say, oh, I wouldn't eat farm salmon if you gave it to me. Well, I'm quite sure they have eaten farm salmon before. They probably just didn't realize it. And they might have gone away from the meal thinking, God, that salmon was fantastic. That was really nice. The chances are it's been farmed because there's very little wild salmon around now. Canada, then in the rivers in Canada and Pacific, there's a lot of wild salmon still there, but the wild salmon and the and around the Scottish shores is become quite a rare breed now. But farm salmon's lovely. It's very, very good, and you're buying it from a good farm. It's the same if you're buying meat from a good farm. You'll get a good product, and that's it. But it shouldn't smell.
I'm so excited for dinner.
I know.
Yes. I was just thinking, it's that time again.
You're closer to it than we are, but I had tuna for lunch, and now I'm going to have salmon for dinner.
There you go.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah.
Good, healthy diet. Yes.
Beautiful China.
Seafood and eat it. Yes, that's it.
Well, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you providing the pictures for the little tour. Not a little tour, it was a big tour, actually. And getting to have you talk us through what you saw there was beautiful.
I enjoyed it. I mean, this is just a lovely family. It really is. And, it's nice to see you guys again. And that's it. And you can tell Ian, and he's sacked now. I've got his job.
Well, I'm still trying to get you to come back and cook, and I think it would be so much fun. Your friend Sally is supposedly coming to cook here. I would love for you guys to cook together or cook with Ricky. That would be just putting it out there.
Well, we'll need to sort something out on that side as well then. Yeah.
And maybe he can come, maybe you can come on our fashion show and talk about proper fashion the Scottish way.
Yes.
You're just wanting to see me in the kilt again. That's all.
How did you ever know?
I am actually quite surprised that you must have lost the photograph now.
I think I still have it. You know what it is? I have to constantly delete things because they only give you so much room to keep files, but I have it somewhere.
Oh,
She's going to surprise you. Watch out.
Coming back to haunt me, that one. It really is.
No, I've actually never really seen anyone in person. And of course, this is not in person, but in a kilt. So I think that's pretty interesting that
there we are. Yeah,
and there's a whole history to kilts.
Yeah,
so
what a sheltered life you've
fashion
led.
I'm behind this green screen 7 days a week. But no, so I really would love to have you on several of our shows. So can you just stop working and just come here and just be here for us all the time?
I would love the time to be able to do that. Yes.
Well, we're just grateful to have you here, and whatever other shows you're able to do, we really appreciate too. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Pleasure.
We love you, Simon.
Oh, we love you too.
We do.
Thank you ever so much for having me on again. I haven't broken any plates. Am I allowed back? Yes, I believe so.
Yes, we'll be seeing you. Are you coming back next week?
I think I
It's a schedule.
good chance. You might have to put up with me once again. Yes.
Well, good. We'd love you to be here every week.
Good. Will Ian and Helena be here?
Yes, they will be. They'll be back next week.
Oh, well, that's fine. I can get a nice rest then. we can all tease him. He can handle the Queen south of the border. I've got her in Scotland. Yes.
There you go.
Simon, for people who want to reach out to you, who would you like to contact you? And I guess it's your email address they should use.
Yeah, anybody can contact me except for the IRS.
Sorry.
Yes, my email is, there it is there. Yes, MacDonaldSimon@ymail.com. There we are. And look at all that writing that's before it. Oh, for goodness sake, do I do all that? Well.
That's who you are, though. So we have your information there so people can reach out to you and contact you. So thank you again, Simon.
Oh, thank you. It's just it's like having a chat around the family room. This one is.
I know. It
Without
really
a bucket of water and a sailor standing by to put me out if it gets too hot.
I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun and good information as well.
Yeah, excellent. Good. Lovely.
Thank you. All right, Diane, any final words from you?
No, we'll be hitting the road after we visit a couple of museums and heading back towards Texas. Going to stop in 2 more states. And so it's we're just having fun.
All right. Well,
but thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you for being here. And I'm going to spotlight you. How should people reach out to you and who should contact you? Sure.
So you could reach me at DIANNFLOYDBOEHM, DIANNFLOYDBOEHM.com. And I write children's books and young adult historical fiction. And my books are about discovering who you are, loving yourself, embracing imagination. And I love to help you think about ways to bring peace on earth. Thanks, Dr. JACALYN.
So beautiful, Diane. Thank you very much. All right. I will say goodbye to the 2 of you for now, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Diane, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okie dokie. Take care, everybody.
Simon, see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Wherever you are in the world, Germany, South Africa, Australia, Texas, wherever. See you next
Goodbye
time.
for now.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening. We truly do appreciate you. And as the word continues to spread, we started here January 10th of this year. So it's just over 5 months, soon to be 6 months. And we just want you to know how much you mean to us, whether you're watching or listening. If you would like to be a guest on our shows, please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com. Now, I want to share with you my mission and vision for this platform. It's not so you can see me on every show. As much as I love being in front of the camera, I really love being behind the camera and doing the production, and also working on a number of other projects that I'm doing for my Dr. JACALYN business, which is teaching people how to listen at an elevated level. It's writing books. I'm writing a series of 7 books with Mariska Duprier on helping children and their parents learn how to listen. And I'm also launching a song with Helena Chard. The song is called What Was I Thinking Back Then? So why do I bring this all up? Because I have an offer for you out there. If you'd like to have your own show, if you'd like to be one of our co-hosts, if you'd like to be on one of our panel shows, if you have an idea for a panel, we're interested in hearing from you. This way, I don't have to be here and someone else can be here sharing the stage and providing information. So I do love being here, but I also want to make room for other people around the world to have an opportunity to share their story and bring their connections. So what can you do? You can reach out to me through either of my websites, usaglobaltv.com or drjacalyn.com. All right, as I close out the show today, I mentioned to you about listening and listening skills. We have a brand new course that I literally finished producing the content for yesterday. And this course is called The Power of Listening in and Through Nature. In this course, this is led by Helena Chard. We teach you many things. First of all, about frequency of music. And we also talk to you about how you can connect with your plants and what that will do for you, how building your own personal shrine can impact your life. And of course, there's also a guided meditation. So let's take a look at the Power of Listening promotional video, and hopefully you will be interested in signing up. We're offering it in honor of July 4th for $47. So take a look. Hello and welcome to a new course created by Helena Chard. This is the latest in our series of courses for the power of listening. This course title is The Power of Listening in and Through Nature. And Helena Chard and I will guide you on a journey to take you back to get in touch with nature. Now, this is not like any course you've taken before. You will actually be required to bring a few items to this course, and you will create a sacred shrine in addition to learning how to communicate and be one with your plant. So let's talk about the materials that you need. You need a plant pot, seeds, soil, and some water. And for the shrine, and Madeline will go into more details, this is not a religious shrine. You want to collect items that are small, that have meaning to you. So we definitely suggest you bring some crystals, you bring some shells, some rocks, maybe a few personal items. The key takeaways are several. So you will actually feel that uplifting sense of connecting with your plants, and also connecting with the energy that you are creating by building your shrine. There is a meditation that you'll be able to participate in, http://drjacalyn.thinkific. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you there. Let's welcome internationally award-winning singer, songwriter, author, producer, vocal coach, and a woman who has an incredible heart. She lifts up everyone with her positive energy and her high vibrations, and I've learned so much from her.
Thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It grounds us. It makes us feel really relaxed. And also we're going to look at shrines. This is our inner child essence. Building shrines makes you come away from the outer world and go into a magical world, your own fantasy world. And you can have shells on there, crystals if you're into crystals, rocks. You can have feathers. Feathers is representation of angels, little baby feathers, long peacock feathers. You can have anything that makes your heart sing. This is your time with Mother Nature. And also what we're going to do is do a lovely meditation at the end so that we can connect with the Earth's crystalline energies and connect our heart, our authentic, true, sacred heart, our state of perfection, and connect and uplift and open out our hearts and connect to Mother Earth's healing energies. So join us. Join myself and Dr. JACALYN for listening through plants, where we're building shrines, and we're going to connect with plants by planting the plant, healing the plant, respecting and loving the plant and nature. Thank you.